today I have you a story. It is a biography about a very famous artist whose name is Jacob Lawrence. Now, Jacob Lawrence was an artist who lived in Harlem, which is an area of New York City, for most of his life. And one thing that made him very famous was that he took a period of American history and depicted it in his artwork. So it was a time when a lot of Black Americans were moving from the South up to the North into big cities like New York City, which is where he was living at the time. Now, some of these paintings are right here, and it just shows different aspects that he was able to see during this movement. Now, Jacob Lawrence lived for many years, but this book right here called Jake Makes a World, Jacob Lawrence, a young artist in Harlem, is actually based on his childhood, about the time he was 13 years old, and how he kind of discovered him as an artist. So I hope you'll enjoy this book, a little peek into his childhood and how he became the artist that he is, and many different colorful pictures that I hope you will enjoy as well. Jake Makes a World, Jacob Lawrence, a young artist in Harlem, written by Sharifa Rhodes-Pitts and illustrated by Christopher Myers. In the morning, Jake watches the sun wake up. He makes a big stretch, and the sun stretches too. With first light, the dancing dark shadows begin to fade. Then the colors come again. Yellow, orange, and blue on the quilt that covers Jake and his brother in bed. Mother's paper flowers in pink and red. His feet sink deep into the thick blue rug. When his toes touch the ground, it's like a sky upside down. When Jake moved to this new city, this New York, to this neighborhood called Harlem to live with Mother again, these familiar things from his old home in Philadelphia greeted him like long-lost friends. Outside Jake's building, men play chess and checkers, balancing the boards on their knees. Older boys sell fruit from a wagon or ice from a bucket, shouting for people to come down and get it. Mothers walk fast to work and more work. Signs promise home-cooked meals for 15 cents and a shoe shine to make you brand new. A preacher in a hat shouts and sings about God. A newsboy tells the stories of the day from downtown and around the world, but tells them with a tune. At the corner, a short man stands on a stepladder, telling everyone how we will get the freedom we need. Most days after school, Jake goes to a place called Utopia Children's House. The word utopia means that it is a special place, unlike any other. For Jake, it is. At Utopia House, Jake makes things with his hands. He carves a block of soap into a fish. He sews scraps of leather into a secret pouch. With watercolors, he swirls the shadows that dance on his wall at dawn and the patterns of the rugs in his living room. Jake takes a stick of charcoal and draws a pair of eyes to see everything the people on the street see. He draws one pair of ears to hear all the shouts and songs, one mouth to carry all their voices. All the faces Jake sees on the street become one face. Jake shows this new face to his teacher, who smiles and nods and says, "You should see this, a very old mask from Africa." Jake stares at the mask for a long while, and then he makes his own mask from brown paper bags. and glue and paint. When he is done, the mask smiles at him. Next, Jake takes a shoebox, and in the box he tries to fit the whole street. Inside are cardboard chessmen, tiny boys folded from construction paper, and mothers walking fast to work wearing dresses cut from magazines. He stacks matchboxes to make buildings and paves the street with sandpaper. Jake has made a world, a small piece of this place called Harlem. It is now his home. Jake's Harlem has all the shouts and songs and noises of the Harlem outside, but here they are not sounds. They are colors. They are shadows dancing. They are rhythms. They are light. Jacob Lawrence, 1917 to 2000. In 1930, when Jacob Lawrence, known to his friends and family as Jake, was 13 years old, he moved to the neighborhood of Harlem in New York City. His mother had moved there 3 years before. And, like many children of that era, Jake and his sister and brother had stayed behind in Philadelphia while she looked for work. It was a time of great political and artistic activity in Harlem. The cultural achievements of the Harlem Renaissance had made the neighborhood a gathering place for black artists, and even during the Great Depression, there were opportunities for a creative young person to thrive. Jake began taking art lessons, and his talent was immediately evident. His teacher, the artist Charles Henry Alston, said of him that this was a kid to leave alone. Don't let him start painting like you. Don't start cramming him with classical ideas about art and showing him the great. Let him go. Just give him materials. Jake was a young man when he began to imagine a series of paintings about the great migration of black Americans who had left the rural South and come to New York and other northern cities. Although the movement was still a recent memory, he understood its importance to American history. By the time he finished the 60 small paintings that comprised the Migration series, Jacob Lawrence had made a world, bridging the memories and everyday stories of daily life with the unique visions, colors, shape, rhythm, gesture that marked the rest of his long career.